All right. So every once in a while you have to have like a little note right here. So it says no dishes until fixed. So while the dishwasher may wash the dishes, what the dishwasher is having a hard time doing is, especially when I put the X-Max in there. Usually, like when you put like a Traxxas X-Max in there, you need to have it on the high temp pot and pan. I'm just kidding. Obviously, don't put your X-Max in the dishwasher. There's a feature that when you put on the pot and pan for some, what it does is it uses the heating coil. So let's peel this off. So what it does is it uses that heating coil, which is right there. The heating coil will boost the temperature of the water. The other thing that that heating coil does is aid in drying. There's an issue. If you cannot have that heating coil doing what it's supposed to do, bringing up sometimes that water temp and or drying your dishes at the end, you end up having a mold issue. So we're starting to, we're not starting, we've been having a mold issue with this. My wife has been really on top of it, cleaning it out, but there's certain things that you shouldn't do when you have a septic system, and one of those things is putting bleach in there. So that's one of the things that she hasn't been doing, but she's been doing other cleaners, like you use, I think she uses like a mix of vinegar and water or something like that, and she dumps it in there and puts it through a wash cycle, but that heating element, the heating element is burnt out. Now there's a couple of different ways to test the element. If your heating element looks like this, so if your heating element has a bulge that looks like this right here, I don't know if you can see that, there's a bulge right there, and if you feel it, you can feel it's kind of like, yeah, it's just not right. It's supposed to be smooth all the way. So what that bulge means is that the heating element burnt out in that section. This is a Whirlpool dishwasher. Most of these heating elements are all kind of like the same, so one part number can work for a multitude of different dishwashers. Not necessarily the case with all stoves. Our stove doesn't use, I think, that kind of heat. I don't even know what our stove uses. Our stove is special. Yeah, it's special, all right. Hey, dude, if you haven't seen my videos on the trials and tribulations of the Samsung Chef Collection, it's great. When it's working, it's mint. But when it's not working, it's not mint. Over through Amazon over here, I was able to go ahead and pick up this right here, which this unit was supposed to be an exact replacement for what we had. Now, you can see it's got like a extra bend to it. Now, that can be rebent, so I'm not worried about that. So this can be rebent. It does have some stuff in here. Not exactly sure why there's aluminum foil in there. Why is there a thing of aluminum foil in there? That's weird. It's almost like, is the aluminum foil? Oh, what? I don't know what the heck to avoid danger of suffocation, keep this plastic bag away from baby. What plastic bag? You think a baby's gonna put their head in that? This bag is not a toy. It's not even a bag. Well, anyways, I'm not sure why the aluminum foil is in there. Unless somehow you're not supposed to handle the heating element with your hands. Doesn't make any sense. All the crap that goes inside of a dishwasher. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know why the aluminum foil's in there. And it literally looks like somebody just tossed it in there. This isn't a return, is it? No, looks like all the staples are where they should be. Anyways, all it is two connections. It's got two nuts. It's got two nuts on it that screw onto threads. And I believe in here there should be plastic, like little couplers or something. Because there does need to be something that kind of smooshes like the gasket. You can see there's like a gasket right there. The gasket goes obviously on this inside edge. And then there's usually like, you know, like these screws right here. But for some reason, you've got to have something that covers over these two terminals here. And normally it's either going to be like a boot or a hard plastic, like threaded looking thing. So I'm thinking it's the hard threaded plastic looking thing. Of course, everything made in China. So it's for the dishwasher, and that's the one right here. That's the one well, one of these is the one that I had. Yeah, these part numbers aren't looking right. That's going to be the right thing. So first thing that you have to do is you got to pull the unit out, because if you look, it's towards the back of the unit. So there may be two things that have to happen. Maybe. Or actually, no, sorry. There's three things that need to happen. So you've got your water supply line that you're going to have to disconnect, drain line that you're going to have to disconnect. There is the possibility that there's going to be some type of water that like comes out of either one because of the way things work. Probably is a very good idea, depending upon how your unit is installed, to go ahead and shut your power off to this unit, because you're going to have to pull the unit out in order to replace it anyway. So yeah, so let's get to fixing this Whirlpool dishwasher, or at least replacing the heating element. There was no need, like I said, to test it, because you'd have to have like continuity and you'd have to pull it out to test it anyway. But realizing that you could feel, or I could see that there was that bulge where it burnt out, that just was the indicator right there that that unit is dead. And that's usually how it happens in a stove too. Normally it's the heating element that goes, and that's what went in this machine. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this out. There's usually a couple screws underneath here that hold it to the counter, and then there's a faceplate that you should pull off, and then disconnecting your lines. Depending upon what we're looking at in here, I can't remember where the electricity is coming from. It might be hardwired in here, is what I'm guessing. But you can see I've got my feed line right there, and then obviously you've got the other line that's in there. I don't even know if you can see it, probably not. So let's get this going. I gotta clear out all this garbage. Supply line is right there, and the line that's right here, you follow the line that goes to dishwasher, that's the drain line. Next thing that you're gonna wanna do, safety third, is you're gonna wanna shut off the power to the unit. Under normal circumstances, what you're gonna do is you're gonna go over to your box, and look at that right there. Under normal circumstances, what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and turn off the breaker that would say dishwasher, whatever. So we'll turn that breaker off. And that way there's no power. And that way there's no more power supplied to that unit in the event that, you know, by accident you, I don't know, put the wires to your tongue. Possibly grab yourself a screwdriver, preferably a Phillips. Maybe go over to your junk drawer. Grab yourself like a channel lock or something that you can put around the nut, or that sleeve thing that I'm pretty sure is in this thing right here. I believe that's what's in there. So you get the unit, it's a little folded. They give you some aluminum foil. Dude, I really have no idea why there's aluminum foil. That's a good amount of aluminum foil, too. Wait a minute, what the heck? Yeah, dude, I have no idea why there's aluminum foil. But they give you strips of aluminum foil. Inside of here should be those sleeve things. And, yep. So you can see we've got some nuts on here. Maybe it's for two different style units. Maybe there's like a style that already has like a boot that slides over, but normally it's this style. And what you do is that screws down onto there, and obviously what it does is it gives it so that the plug or whatever has an insulation kind of around it, because you don't want that exposed. So we're gonna go ahead and very carefully open that up. I'm pretty sure it's not gonna need these, but so just like that. Threads on, and what that does is it will compress the washer, keep a watertight seal, and insulate the plug. So there will be a little bit of bending to make sure that this thing goes in the right way. Obviously it's got, and I'll take the other one out and give it the same circular pattern, but it's easy. I'm gonna grab a couple of towels. We call these the dog towels. Reason why? It's because when we wash the dogs, these are the towels that we use that are specifically for them. These towels are going to be to sop up any water that either comes out of there, or more often than not is going to come out of there. So we already know the power's off. We could check that with a meter, but I'm gonna trust it because I already know the house. But before you go ahead and mess around with electrical, just take a tester. They have those testers that you can click the button and you put it like to the wire or whatever, and you can find out whether or not if it's energized still. That would be the safety first way of doing things, but over here it's safety third. So take this screwdriver. Underneath here, there's usually going to be, there's one there, and there's one over there, and we're gonna go ahead and remove those 2 screws. To make things slightly easier for myself, the 2 items that are in here that can kind of move around, I'm not worried about this top rack. I could take the top rack out, but it's not necessary. But I am gonna take this rack out because it basically slides all the way out. And I will also take out the silverware little container right here. And that will just give me better access once I pull this unit out to go ahead and take this off. I'm also going to take the bottom spray bar out. That's very simple. There's like a locking little thing right there. And you unlock it and the spray bar comes out. I'll show you right now, actually. So right here, there's like a little thing that you turn. And then you can see there's water and stuff that's in here. So there will be water in this unit, but you can see there's like little bits of mold here. Once the heating element is doing its thing, it'll be a lot easier to maintain this dishwasher. It's funny, but not. You don't think about certain things like there's give and takes, man. You want a dishwasher that gives you the convenience, but you still have to maintain the dishwasher itself as far as like making sure mold doesn't grow in the dishwasher. And that's the same thing like with a lot of these front load washing machines, to where there's just like always water and mold and stuff, because if you don't leave the door open for it to breathe, like the old style washing machines, you could just call them the top loaders. So the top load washing machines are great as long as they don't technically seal, because it's when it seals and water is allowed to sit that we end up with all these issues. Now the front load is great, but there's a give and take, man. There's a give and take with stinking everything. It's very easy. There's just usually 2 little screw things that you turn with like a regular screwdriver or whatever, and you should be able to pop that off. Use like a regular screwdriver, or sometimes if you get like a blunt butter knife, you can use a butter knife. Just don't tell your wife or whatever you got. See, you got that thing right there, you just turn it and pull it out. Another one on this side. Take that, turn it, and pull it out. This piece should pop out. This will have insulation on it normally. Oh, yeah, you don't want to see that. Oh, my wife will kill me. I can't believe you showed all that dirt. Another piece of insulation right here. Gonna go, this is all sound deadening type stuff. Go ahead and pull that out. I'm not seeing any evidence of any leaks or anything. This is typical that you'll see every once in a while. You'll have some water that kind of comes down. There's also little feet on here, and these adjuster feet keep the unit tight up to the bottom part of the whatever it is. Kind of keeps it like level, plumb, or whatever you want to call it, inside of the thing here. There's usually like a way to screw these in. Sometimes it's like a little socket that you can go ahead and put on the top of here, like a 1/4 inch or something like that, and then you can undo it and pull it out. But this unit should be able to, from memory, pull this out. I want to see how this is going. I'm wondering if I have enough room to be able to pull this unit out completely. The insulation that's on the top is getting stuck underneath the bottom of the counter, so I'm going to go ahead and push this unit back in. What do I do? It's the 2 evils here. Got a supply line I got to take off right here. You know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and do it this way. I'm going to go ahead and pull the supply line off here. I'm going to put the dog towel down here. That way, I'm not putting water under the cabinet, I'm putting it on the tile floor. That's probably the better scenario, because under most circumstances, under a stove or under the dishwasher, it's normally, if things are done right, same thing with under the dryer. Same thing with under the under the dryer too. But under the refrigerator, like your appliances that can be pulled out like that, normally tiles should go underneath. So that's the route I'm going to go. I'm still going to shut it off here. Shut it off right here. Go ahead and shut that off. I'm going to go ahead and pull off the lines through here. And that way I'll have the dog towel here and it'll soak up some of the water. The dog towel, put that under there, like that. A couple of things that are going to happen here. So just want to stuff the towel under here because it is going to grab the water that's going to come from this line. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my channel locks, carefully put it on the brass little fitting here, and twist it off, and you'll see water is going to come out of here. So you could put it in a bowl, but whatever. There we go. So you can see water's right there. I'm going to go ahead and tip it and just allow some of that water to drain out. Now, the majority of the water is going to be coming from, let's say, this line right here. So this particular unit, I'm going to go ahead and disconnect this right here. Probably would have been better with pliers, but grab my channel locks. I'm going to pinch this together, squeeze this together, and I'll go ahead and rotate that kind of off, just like that. Let's rotate that off. Rotate it off, come on! There we go. Now, this drain actually should have, this will have more water in it, I think, than anything. So I'm going to go ahead and pull that apart. And water's going to come out of it. Here we go. So that's going to drain that. And that's, again, that's normal. This is actually what you want to see. So, but that's going to drain the water. And that's, like I said, that's why the dog towel's here. Just to kind of collect all that water that's draining out right now. You could also grab a thing there, shop vac, and shop vac it out. But I'm just going this route. The other thing is the electrical right there. That's what I'm thinking. Looking at this, this looks like it's possibly the electrical panel thing here, because I am seeing something here. Yeah, so that is it. So that is where the electrical, I think, comes in. I believe. Feeling around the back here. Yep, it is. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and you need something. Can't see what that is. It looks like that's a Torx. Something gun. That literally looks like it's a Torx. Just to show you, I did try to take my Phillips, get in there. But by the looks of that, that's like a T20. Thing is that not everybody has. I mean, a T20 is very common. I believe it's a T20. T20 is fairly common. So let's see. So it is a T20. It is one of the more common ones. You'll probably find like a T20 or whatever. Maybe even like a T25. T25 won't work. So, and that will reveal the wired connections. Now, like I said, I've got water here, but under normal circumstances, what you would want to do is you'd want to go ahead and you know what? I'm going to pull this unit out. I probably should have just waited. I'm going to pull this unit out because I can't remember if I've got enough wire. I might actually have enough wire that I can pull this entire unit out. But that's still that like whole safety thing to where you still want to shut the power off, and to check the power to make sure it was shut off. Just pop that and just take your little thing there and beep it at the wires, and just to make sure. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to attempt to pull this whole unit out. Wife is going to kill me. She's like, you showed all the pollen. I was like, honey, it's okay. I don't have housekeeping here. Housekeeping? We will have to adjust these feet down a little bit. There's like feet right here. So you can adjust these feet down, or up, actually, is the way I'm gonna go, if I can. These feet do adjust up. I'm serious. Just forget which way this thing goes. So, it goes this way. We'll do the same thing over here. And yes, this is normal. This is normal. Nobody cleans under the dishwasher unless you're a psycho. What do you mean? What do you mean nobody? So I will clean under there. Now that should have given a little bit more wiggle room, I'm hoping here. To go ahead and pull this out. There we go. See the insulation right there? Oh, it's still stuck. Come on. All right, I need both hands here. All right, and we did it. So there's my electrical connection right there. So it does look like we got more water that leaked out, which is fine. That's why the dog towel's here. So plenty of room to go ahead and pull this unit out. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my other dog towel and soak up the water that soak up the other water that continued to drain out. So just kind of clean this section. Like I said, I'm going to get in here and clean all this up because, you know, how many times do you take your dishwasher out and clean underneath it? Probably never. You should do it to your stove. Well, I think more so your refrigerator. I think more so your refrigerator. I think that's easier. But you should clean under your appliances because there's going to be stuff under there that, yeah, you clean under here. This stuff isn't necessarily mold. I mean, it is kind of like debris, but with the hotter temperatures that this dishwasher will reach, it'll probably get rid of some of this garbage. So now we've gone top side here, head mount. I'm going to go ahead and take this insulation off. This is not insulation you got to worry about touching. It's not a fiberglass type of insulation. It's just like a cotton kind of insulation. And to kind of sop up this wetness right here. There is going to be more, and I'm going to get in here. I'm going to clean all this out anyway, just because. So next would be to take the unit. Normally, you would have checked to make sure this has no power. That way you're not going to have any issues. I'm going to tip this unit forward. I'm going to tip the unit forward. So I did not have to take my electrical plug out, but see, these are the units. These are the pieces right here. So that little plastic thing is exactly what I thought. So that unit and that unit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and unplug this for now. And I'm going to put a continuity tester. I'm going to put a continuity tester on there. That will kind of like confirm or reaffirm the fact that the element went out. I mean, the element went out. It's burnt. I already know. But there's another unit, I think, that's not that. It's this unit right here. This is a unit that may have needed to be replaced, but I'm going to say that 7 or 8 times out of 10, that's not what you have to replace. It's literally the heating element, especially given what we saw with the heating element that's currently installed in here. So I'm going to go ahead and put a thing on there just to show you no continuity. Of course, here I am telling you, I'm going to put a thing on here and show you that it actually doesn't. All right. So this has an audible tone. So when you cross this, okay, that means this continuity, okay? Touching the two. Just to kind of prove it, I'll touch the metal on this side to the metal on this side. Okay? So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to probe this connection. And nothing. See, watch. Okay, so what that's telling you is that there is no continuity in between the two plugs. So basically what I was just doing is I was doing this. Okay, continuity. See? So that just proves that this unit, it did die. Untwist these. Looks like it was in by hand, basically. I could reuse these, but it came with new ones. So, and it also, this one had little things on there. So I might want to keep that. So now you can go ahead and push that forward, tip the unit back. I'm going to get my tools out of here. And you can see inside of here, what I'm going to do now is it has like these little things that kind of like hold the unit into place. I'm going to kind of just get those out of the way. Now I'm going to take the unit and pull this unit out. So what I can do, close this up. You see all the nasty water everywhere. But like I said, this is all going to be cleaned up. So now what I can do is bring this unit over here. And I am going to bend. Whoa. Yeah, there you go. So there's the breakage. I was going to bend this unit to match this one. So I'll put it underneath. I know the general shape of it was like that. So what I want to do is I just want to kind of get the same shape that that one has. So you can see how it's got that good curve over here. And what I want to do is I want to bend this and this in to kind of make that curve. So I got that one. And it looks pretty close. So I've got that bend. I'm just going to bend this one in a little bit, like that. And then once I put the unit inside, or once I put this piece inside, I'll see what it looks like. Oh. Watch out it doesn't fall on you. So just put the unit in there like that. Put it on these little things here, this little standoff. That one. Put on this little standoff. That one. Push it down. And that actually looks great. Close this back up. Sop up some more water. I'm going to just grab these and kind of compare. Make sure these new ones thread onto the old one. And it does. So new one threads onto the old one. Just want to compare these. So I am going to use the original. There's nothing wrong with the brand new one. I'm just going to go ahead and use the originals. Let's toss that on. Thread it nice and careful. I can hear it bite. Thread this one on. Make sure that's in there. Now these were hand tight, but they were good and tight. So I'm gonna give it the old like double kind of check here. So both of those plugs are feeling the same. I'm going to take these little insulator things, stick those in there just like it was. Must be some kind of like a factory kind of thing. Feel where that is. Stuff that on there. Now I go ahead and take the wires, rehook up the wires. Got one there, and you got one right there. Now, how do I know if this is going to work? I don't. I just have to trust in the circuit as tested. That's how I have to trust in it. I have to trust in the circuit as tested. So everything in here looks pretty good. Like I said, I'm just going to go ahead and clean all of this area just so it looks nice. And then button everything up. And then we'll give it its first wash, and I'm sure everything's going to be mint. Basically, the reverse operation is exactly that, or the reinstallation is the reverse operation of exactly what I did. Make sure you put all your pieces, parts back in. Make sure you go ahead and screw it to your countertop. Make sure that your electrical connectors are all good. Make sure you got no leaks. What I would do is give it a wash cycle. Leave that front cover off just to make sure that you're not going to have any leaks. Because if you have a leak, depending upon how your tile floor is, if your tile floor is slightly kicked back towards the back, because a lot of times underneath, they don't care. Like if you see on the left-hand side, and if you look on the right-hand side, Basically looks like they used kind of like scrap tiles. And that's fine because that's underneath. But there also might be a slope to it. And if there's a slope, the only way you're going to know whether if this dishwasher is leaking is if it's a real bad leak and the leak kind of comes forward. If your floor is level, it'll come forward. Or there may be the possibility you go down into the level that's underneath the dishwasher and you got a rain shower coming down through the ceiling. It's just a parts replacement of this piece right here that burnt out. And this is totally normal to happen. I really have no clue what the aluminum foil's for. I really don't. I don't know why there was aluminum foil in there. Maybe it was to keep my hands off of the element. Maybe it was to keep my hands off the element. I don't know. I don't see why it should matter because maybe I'll like wash it down or something. Like maybe there's not supposed to be grease on it, but that doesn't make any sense. All right, I'm out fixing dishwashers. What are you doing today? All right, so here we go. It's all running. I've got it on eco mode right now, but I have it on a high heat dry. What I could have done is I could have done it on the heavy wash, which technically, I guess, actually high temp wash. Putting on the high temp wash would probably boost the heat by using the heating element. But I do have it on a high heat dry. The noise that you're hearing right now is totally normal. Looking under here, there's absolutely no leaks, and that's what's important. So I know you can't see it, but I can see it, and that's all that matters. So there's your update. It's all clean under there. My wife is going to be happy. Again, it's not an area that you necessarily ever go under, but should you clean it like every once in a while? Yeah, I guess. Back to some other content.